Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I do hope you are well. I am. I'm well because it's the summer and summer makes me thrive. And I'm going to do some cooking with you, but I'm going to do as much as I can out here rather than in there because this is where I want to be. So, outside. Okay, so I'm going to do two fairly quick things today. One, my own recipe, and another one from Dale Pinnock's plant-based diet. You don't have to be a plant-based eater to enjoy things from here. So I saw this one and I thought, ooh, remember we went shopping? I saw all the lovely mushrooms. Down to here, I'll show you. So I was inspired to have a go at this one. It's a roasted mushroom and miso sandwich filler. Now, I don't eat sandwiches. Generally, I don't eat bread these days either. But I do just really occasionally, but I also thought this might be a nice one when I've got visitors to have something like this on a bit of toast or some crackers as a part of a lunch, a sort of a picnicky lunch. So yeah, so I'm going to do this one. I'm also going to do my bring this so you can see it a bit. I'm also going to do my broad bean dip, broad bean hummus, however you want to call it. So I'll get on with that. Well, actually the beans are cooked, they need to be skinned, but first of all I need to do the prep with all this. Before I do any of that, let's look at the ingredients, lovely ingredients. We've got about 300 grams, I think it might be. I'm going to bring you closer because I think if I'm going to try and show you, you know what's going to happen. Straight on the patio. It couldn't really be any more simple. So I've got about 300 grams of mushrooms. His recipe says chestnuts. This is a mix. I've got some penny buns, the seps. I've got some oyster. I've got some of the chanterelle and one random chestnut in there. So 300 grams of the mushrooms. He says one, I'm going to have 2 cloves of garlic, half a red onion, which is a good job because when I got this home, I think it's gone a bit on one side. But anyway, I only need half of it, but I will try and rescue the other bit. Some oil, and then I was telling you about the miso the other day. It's a fermented chickpea paste. I've never had the fermented chickpea. I've only ever had it in the past when it's been soya, fermented soya. But yeah, that's going to give it its gorgeous umami. Right, let's get on with the prep. It's a really wonderfully simple prep as well. Pop the olive oil and the miso to one side for now. Roasting tin. The oven is on and it's I've got it preheating at, oh my god, my neighbours. Try again. Yeah, so the oven is on, preheating at 200 degrees. Yeah, it's an oven one. That's the only downside to it, but I really wanted to try it today anyway because, as I say, I think it might be a nice one for when I have visitors, if we're having sort of a picnic type lunch. But also when I saw the gorgeous mushrooms, I thought, yeah, definitely. With the rest of the mushrooms, I'm just going to do a very simple creamy mushroom soup, but I'll do that in a separate video because there's enough to be doing today for this one. So garlic, just chopping it fairly fine and then tossing it in the roasting pan. That's what I mean, it's incredibly simple in terms of both ingredients and prep. Right, which is the dodgy half, that half. But it's just lovely to make the most. I'm going to take that in the kitchen and see if I can rescue any of the half that feels a bit yeah, it feels lovely to be outside, make the most of this outside time because look, I know a lot of people have been too hot I understand. I've got one really fine hair that's tickling me, sorry. Oh, I understand that. I understand if, you know, folk are being uncomfortable. I love the summer and I never want it to end, ever. And last year it felt like it ended really, really quickly because I had Kate coming down to visit for the bank holiday weekend at the end of August. And we had, the day she arrived, we had the afternoon out here. And then after that, it did not stop raining. And then it didn't stop raining till about March. Oh my goodness. So not too finely chopping the oven because it's all eventually going to be mashed and whizzed together. So it doesn't have to be too fine. Yeah, so because it felt like it finished so quickly last year, I feel like I didn't really appreciate the summer, make the most of it. I don't know how else to put it. I thought this year I'm really determined to, so even if I'm working, or you know, when I'm working, try to work out here as much as possible. So I'm just going to rough chop the mushrooms. In his recipe, he says, because he's using chestnut mushrooms in his, rough chop, quarter them. So if you kind of think of a chestnut being quartered, just aiming for those sorts of sizes. So with the penny buns, cut down the middle lengthways, cut again so it's in quarter lengthways, and then just, you can see, just making chunks of it. Won't take long. Just any old how. Just get them all chopped up and in that roasting pan. I cannot wait to try this. Oh gosh, because I'm not making the soup today, I think the chanterelles they may dry out a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll reconstitute them a bit, keep the reconstituting water to help to add to the stock. That'll be grand. Right, oysters, beautiful. I mean, look, they're all mushrooms, they all taste mushroomy. But using the different ones, I'm hoping it's going to give it just sort of a little bit of extra layer of flavour. And certainly the penny buns, seps, porcini, they have a really, really lovely nutty taste. Oh, I can't wait. I bet the oven's not warm enough yet. It does seem to take a while to warm up. So, nearly there, nearly there. Don't necessarily want to hurry it, just don't want to keep you here forever. I've only brought my little knife out. I should have brought my big knife out. Okay. All the little bits. Move that out of the way. Don't want to lose any, so just roughly chopped. In with the onions and the garlic, and now just a bit of a drizzle of oil. Oh, that was a glug of oil, not a drizzle. I'm going to pop these in the oven for half an hour, get my hair sorted, and bring my other ingredients out to start making my next tasty toast topper. Yay! That's what today is called, 2 tasty toast toppers. There we go, got my title sorted. While that's in the oven, I'm going to get on with the other, like I said, dip, spread, toast topper. using broad beans. I've shown you this recipe before, but it was years ago, right back at the beginning of my channel, so I'll have a little recap today. So I've got my broad beans. These have been cooked. Actually, I think I've got 3 more portions left, and I really need to get the freezer defrosted, so this is a great excuse. Not that I need them. I don't know how many's in there. I didn't weigh them, but it's got to be 2, maybe more cups full, 2.5 cups full from the freezer, and then they went into the steamer for about 12 minutes from frozen. If they were fresh, they'd go in for 6 or 7 minutes. So I've got my broad beans, star of the show, to which I will add oil and lemon juice once we're back inside, and star of the show again, garlic, as much garlic as you want, as much garlic as you love to eat, and I'm just gonna have to ignore that. And if you've got some, if you don't have any, don't worry about it. I've made it without very often, but because I happen to have some tahini paste, I'll be adding some tahini as well. But like I said, if you don't have any tahini in your house, don't worry about it. It is really quick to do. The only thing is, I'm now going to second skin all the beans, because as you can see in there, they look pretty grey and unappetising. Once they're popped out, beautiful emerald jewels. I won't keep you here the whole time I'm skinning, because it does take a while. I've set my alarm for the other one, but I'm hoping that I can get this all done within the half hour it takes the other one to cook. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I always second skin my broad beans. I think unless you get the beans out really, really young, really small, really tender, yeah, second skin them, because the outer skin, to my taste buds anyway, it's pretty bitter, and I just wouldn't, and they're tough. They have a toughness to them as well. So yeah, why not make our food, yes, it's taking a little bit more time, but why not make it gorgeous rather than just like, well, it was okay, but it was a bit bitter and it was a bit tough. So yeah, let's make it bright green deliciousness instead. What was I going to mention? So I will be doing this in half a year's time. I'll be doing this in the food processor. Don't worry if you haven't got a food processor. I didn't have one for years. I had one and then it broke and I didn't replace it, and anyway, and in that time I just used a potato masher. You just end up with a coarser texture. Fine, you might like it coarse, and also a really, really, really good upper body workout. It's easier to do when they're still slightly warm, the mashing, but on the other hand, second skinning them when they're hot, unless you've got asbestos fingers, which I don't. Right, I'm going to carry on getting these all skinned, and then we'll reconvene in the kitchen. Don't want to go inside. We'll reconvene in the kitchen to get this one made up, and then hopefully the oven time will go ding, and it'll be time to, can't wait to try the mushroom one. My timing didn't quite work out. I just finished the broad beans, and this, it had 2 minutes to go, and I thought, right, well, let's just do this now rather than having an alarm going off in the middle of the beans. Let's see how they, yum, the smell, and they look scrummy. Oh yeah, that smell, they might not look much, but the smell is gorgeous. So I think, yeah, let's just leave them there to cool a bit before I process them, and in the meantime let's quickly knock up this broad bean toast topper. I can't wait, I'm salivating, that smells delicious. So quick and easy once all the broad beans are peeled. So into the processor with, don't lose any, with the chopped garlic. It doesn't have to be chopped particularly fine because it's all going to be whizzed. about a tablespoon of lemon juice. So all these kind of things, just adjust it to your own taste. You know, I don't add salt. If you want to add salt, I pretty much don't add salt to anything. If you like a ton of salt, put a ton of salt in. I mean, it's not good for you, but, or say with the garlic, if you like a ton of garlic, put a ton of garlic in. A tablespoon of oil. If I didn't have any tahini, I'd probably do maybe a tablespoon and a half. But actually, once the beans are podded, there's not a lot of beanage. I mean, I'm going to appreciate them. Whatever's in there. Clean, pinky. Get that last bit of tahini out. Chef's prerogative. And blitz. You may need, as I do right now, you may need to stop and just slightly push your beans back down. Oh, I can't tell you how much I'm dying to eat this. Yeah, that'll do. I like a bit of texture. Good stuff. So now I'll just get that out. Whoopla! Get this cleaned and get ready for the mushrooms. Yay! And more importantly, get ready to eat. That didn't take too long. Right, so in with all the mushroomy bits and any sort of I'm all the way over here, and any juices that have run off. I'm doing this completely back to front to what I would normally, as a right-hander, do. I'm going to turn it the other way for a second because I don't want it to all go on the floor and to lose all this gorgeousness. So yeah, any of the oil and juices that have come out during cooking, I think in terms of cost, because of having the oven on, if this is lovely and I think to myself, oh, I definitely want to do that again, it's the kind of one, because it's just that thin roasting tray, I could put that at the bottom whilst I'm roasting something bigger on top. Now for the miso paste, it says a tablespoon. I forgot to wash up my tablespoon when I just washed the box. I'm using a dessert spoon, so I'm going to go with 1.5 dessert to make a table. And again, I think this is going to be one of those where just blitz it to the consistency you like. You might like a really textured consistency. Actually, you put lighting, does that help? It's because it's so dark, the actual product is dark. Yeah, so as I've not made it before, I just want to kind of think, ooh, what's that consistency? I think I'd like to do a little bit more. I think that will do it. It's looking a bit sort of breadcrumby. Let me show you. Breadcrumbing, I'd call that. Oh my goodness, the smell. There's a oh my goodness, there's a smell almost of coffee roasting, roast coffee. Oh, that's delicious. Right, and let's get that served up. I need to make some toast to put it on. I don't always have the toaster out. It was a fantastic gift. Thank you, Cumbria man, and your man. because I just don't do much by way of toast these days. It's always out when I have guests. So I've got a feeling my next guest is coming really soon. I've got a feeling this might be on the menu. Right, let me get organised and then we'll serve up. Oh, so bright. Well, I think that looks like a lovely bit of lunch. Yum. Actually, I think I'm going to have to move us into the shade. Just had to move us into the shade for a moment so you can see. But I think that looks like a really lovely bit of lunch. Whoa, gosh, I can't wait to get my laughing gear around this lot. Take a seat and chow down. Well, I know what my broad bean tastes like, so I'll have that second. What I really want to taste is this mushroom. So let's just. Oh, it might be one to scoop on, or you might need to have a bit of butter with it to make it stick. I don't have any butter though, or any kind of spread. Oh, I can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. Oh, that's really lovely. It's subtle. It's just that gorgeous. It's umami, isn't it? The problem, hang on. The problem with eating on camera is one doesn't want to speak with one's mouth full, and one wants to just have another and another and another bite. I find that really lovely. I'm just trying to imagine in a sandwich or a wrap, maybe some lettuce, some tomato. I can kind of imagine it working with some avocado and some mozzarella, if you've got the spennies for that. But actually on its own, I'm just thinking now actually, because if you don't have miso paste, I think maybe a teaspoon of Marmite would give you that kind of secondary umami kick, because this is all about the umami. The thing about the miso, of course, it's fermented. That's a really good thing for our gut. But I realise you might not have access to it. I'm properly backlit this afternoon, I don't care. Right, I need to chow down. Oh, I had my wax covers on as I brought them out. I need to properly chow down now. So I'm going to say thank you for hanging out with me today in the garden kitchen. Excuse me, and the kitchen. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope those two tasty toast toppers tickle your fancy. Give them a go. The broad bean, I mean, it's always gorgeous. And actually, you know, if you're growing your own, or if you can forage mushrooms, these needn't be expensive dishes to make for a nice, fairly quick, apart from lunch, a picnic, lunch boxes, whatever. Use your imagination, let it fly. But yeah, have a go. They're both gorgeous. Right, off you go. I need to scoff. See you all soon, lovelies. For now, cheerio.